Well, I'm actually live. I don't believe it. This is the easiest it's ever been to go live. So I've got my drink here and I'm ready to read some cards for you guys. We'll see when people start coming in. If people start coming in, I'm sure they will. You know, I've manifested it. And this is kind of not the best time to actually go ahead and start manifesting stuff. But, you know, you can really start sending your thoughts in that direction at the moment, because we are very close to some big events in astrology. And they're going to be playing out all over the psychic realms. Let me just reach over cards here. Tonight, I've got the Wonderland Tarot. I've also got Keepers of the Light here, which is a fantastic deck. Kyle Gray deck, a bit like the Ascended Masters if you're a touch older, rather like me. Hello, Miss Stepladder, how are you doing today? And I've got Moonology here as well. Well, absolutely great to see you, Spiritual Stepladder, a great supporter, if ever there was one, of the Andy's Readings channel. And I've got to thank you and everyone actually who's supported the channel, because what's happening here is I'm actually live on my mobile phone, which means I'm not stuck upstairs in a freezing cold room on my laptop. Because I got to 1,000 subscribers. Hooray. Hello, Celtic Tarot Sheila. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day there, or a good night, in fact. And once I got to 1,000 subscribers, they wouldn't actually let me go live, and I complained a bit. And I said, oh, you've got to wait a little while. And I just thought I'd try it tonight, and it's happened. It's actually come on. Now, I missed something there. What have we got? Where's the line? Great, thank. How about yourself? I'm pretty good, thank you. Thank you very much. And Melly Thompson, hey all, how are you doing? How are you doing, Melly? I'm really glad you could join me tonight. Well, let's get cracking and pull some cards. There's only one thing about this mobile phone business, is that the live chat thing doesn't stay there for very long, so I don't always get to read it. But I'm going to pull a card in Colorado, 1:55 p.m. Oh, right, okay, so I can't, it's not like mountain time or something. Not very good on that, and you're in the southeast UK, Spiritual. Oh, you know, I thought you were in America for some reason, Spiritual Stepladder. But there we go. I'm going to pull you a card, Spiritual Stepladder, okay? And this isn't the moon phase we've got at the moment. This is just what's coming up from the Moonology deck. And we've got confidence is your key to success. And I guess that's going to mean something to you at the moment. The moon here is, this is showing up as the energy around a new moon in Leo. Just bring the card back a bit there so you can actually see it. And so the beginnings of success are coming, you know. Got to have a push, okay, because confidence is the key to that success for you. I don't know what your plans are. I have a feeling you might be thinking about going forward and actually having a kind of a spiritual business. That's the vibe that I've often got from you, that you're someone who, if you're not doing it already, is more or less in a position to actually start working spiritual and call yourself, you know, an actual spiritual practitioner. I don't know if that's around healing. I don't know if that's around readings, possibly even mediumship. And I think you would actually be able to do mediumship, but you have a spiritual business. Great. I'm really glad to hear that, because I'm sure you'd actually fit into that very well. And it ought to be going well for you. If any problems at all, if in any doubt at all, the thing to do is remember that confidence is the key to success for here. Well, confidence is your key to success. I'm not reading it too well here. Healing, mediumship, and spirit artist, all those three things. Great. Well, you'd need a stepladder to do all those three things at once. Are you thinking about doing a kind of like a big spiritual mural or something? That's just what I've got in my head here. Or you want to take off with trance? Right. Now, that is a real interesting one, actually. I reached the point of being a trance medium about 2015, and an unfortunate sort of coming together as circumstances happened then, so I ended up not doing it. You've got to be incredibly careful, because like what happened to me, it could happen to any medium really. There were some people involved with the church that I was going to who'd lost their son in very tragic circumstances when he was 18 years old. Now, it's always a tragedy when we lose someone to the other side. I mean, it's the beginning of a new world for them, but very, very tragic, you know, for those of us left behind. And this lad's parents, once they realised I was a trance medium, they sort of became obsessed with getting me to bring him through. And they happened to run the circle that I was going to. And it just got very, very difficult. And I ended up not doing it. And to be honest, I haven't done it since. But I know I'll come back to it sometime. And it's a great thing, trance, because you actually really, you get that kind of physical proof that the whole thing is real. Not the right time for me. No, indeed. And I don't get involved with churches anymore either, actually. I still go around them and do mediumship, but I will not belong to a church. I really won't. I'm more than happy to help, but as for belonging to a thing, no way. But take confidence, okay? That was your card. I will come back to it. I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that. Because you ever heard of a medium called Albert Best, I wonder? He trained Gordon Smith, who's kind of one of the big mediums from Scotland, who travels around the United States, actually. And he seemed to speak through me, It's a hell of a thing to claim, but I'm sure he did, actually. There was someone there who knew him, and that was a great honour. So I will come back to it. Yeah, got to do it. Albert Best? Yeah, great. Excellent. I mean, he's one of the most amazing characters, and he, above anything, proves that the sky's the limit if you really kind of trust in your gift and have confidence in yourself, like that new moon in Leo card suggested. It was a new moon card, so something's coming in for you, something is building up for you, and thank you very much for that. It's on my path. Great. I'm really glad you picked up on that. And I mean, that's great confirmation for me. It has been mentioned a few times lately, and I've kind of wondered. Excuse me, rubbing my fingers all over the screen here. I just want to have a look at the chat. Hello, Smiling Heart. Nice to see you. Smiling Heart always cheers us up if no one else does. And actually, you all do one way or another. But Smiling Heart, very kind of cheerful indeed. Melly Thompson, are you still there? I'm sorely tempted to pull a card for you, Melly Thompson. In fact, I'm going to anyway, because there's a bit of a delay on the chat. And you do always get the chance to watch the video back when it's on the channel afterwards. Oh, and Liz Craft to say hello to you. This is great. There are people joining in. I seem to have hit on a time when I can actually get live. And, people who know the channel and know me are actually out there watching. And that's great, because our spirit guides do actually bring us together, and that's that's why we're all here in this place at this time. So you are here eagerly awaiting a card, Melly. I'm very glad to hear it. I'm just going to shuffle a bit more. I've got a feeling I haven't got the right one. Oh yes, I have. Right, for you, Melly, Mary Magdalene. I will show you it, and I'm going to have to turn it round and read it for myself, because I can't read it in the screen very well. It's working well, is it, Liz? I'm so delighted to hear that. I did this about 3 years ago when I had 100 subscribers, and then they changed the rules, and you had to have 1,000 subscribers. And I've just got there with your help and with everyone else's help as well, and I'm so grateful. But Melly, for you, Mary Magdalene, Teacher Awakens, you have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Does that ring true, Melly? That's what I am wondering. Because if it doesn't now, it will in a very short time to come. And there are going to be opportunities for you, I'm being told, this side of the festive season. I'm not saying that things are actually going to take off this side of the festive season, but look out for opportunities coming up somewhere around the 15th. So that's actually only next Tuesday, thinking about it. So, late next week, opportunities coming up, coming around you, and you've got something important to share. So it's really, really going to work out for you in that case. Okay, follow that inner call. Don't let anything stop you, it says. Mary Magdalene is indeed a very beautiful energy. Some say she was the wife of Jesus, and they just didn't want to acknowledge that Jesus had a wife, because it didn't kind of fit the way they wanted the Christian church to appear to people. Who knows? But she was certainly very close to him. Nobody denies that. And so she's a very, very special energy indeed. And I'm glad you love it, Melly, because I'm loving the energy that's coming here. Now, we've got a very very sort of red feel about this card. We've got purple at the bottom, so healing is certainly involved with it. And going forward with this, I'm sure will bring healing into your life, Melly, into any area of your life where you need to bring it into. But it's also that it's the colour of service, you know. There's scarlet and there's crimson, and I'm actually seeing both of those in this card. And I can't remember exactly which colour is which, but they're both about service, and they're both about the fact that you're the sort of person who'd give everything it takes to make a good thing happen. Now that is acknowledged and understood in the spirit realms, most certainly, as this card has come through. So Melly, don't let anything stop you, okay? You really have got, it says you've got something important to share. Well, the angels know that, and they want to get out there and actually help you to share it. Right, really important for you to hang on to that. I'm really glad that that's meaning something to you. I'm really glad you can take it. I'll give you that with the love of the spirit realms, okay? We'll see how we go. I'm kind of going quickly because I want to try and, give out as many messages as I can. But if this goes on and you're still around, I might pull another card a little bit later and elaborate on that. Oh, I love that. I've just discovered this new, can you see it in there? Not very well. It's lemon tea. It's this cold tea powder stuff that you stir up in a cup. My auntie used to give it to me when I was a child, and I absolutely loved it. And I didn't think you could get it anymore, but I spotted it in a shop the other day. Okay, Smiling Heart, I want to come to you, right? Hope you don't mind. I'm going to go for a tarot card for you. I've got 3 decks with me here at my table tonight. I'm going to have to get a bookshelf down here and get them all up on the table. But look, the wood burner is burning away in the background and it's all nice and warm. So this seemed like a good place to sit and do readings tonight. I'm really glad it's working out. So sure thing, Smiling Heart, okay. So I'm shuffling Tarot in Wonderland and we'll see what comes. This is a fantastic deck, actually. It's based on the Alice in Wonderland stories, and you'll know that from watching the videos, I'm sure. But I was searching around on the internet last night, just out of interest, just surfing and looking, and I found the Alice Tarot, which is different to this, but is based on Alice in Wonderland. So I started looking around to see if I could buy a copy, and there was one on eBay, and it was 300 British pounds, which is going to be about 400 American dollars. So I decided that I wasn't actually going to go there, because it's obviously quite an old deck, and I guess it's the forerunner to this one. But it's an ancient story, and all of our lives are based on a kind of an ancient story, all the incarnations that we've had previously and in the past. So I'm giving you that idea to begin with, Smiling Heart, before I turn anything over. The card I've got for you, number 19, it's the Sun. Now, Smiling Heart, this is actually turning into a theme of tonight's readings so far. When we get the Sun card, this particular version of the Sun card explains it very well. You can see Alice sitting here between the 2 queens, yeah? And these 2 queens are kind of very lofty, very high up figures, but Alice is welcome to join them, because even though Alice is a small child, she is actually maturing. The story of the Tarot in Wonderland deck is that she kind of grows up and matures through the deck. It's the analogy for the kind of tarot story, you know. And when we get to the Sun, we're well over halfway through the deck. We're at number 19 in the major arcana here. And she's matured enough that she can go forward through the next 2 or 3 cards until she reaches the World card. So that's where you're at, Smiling Heart. Keep on going, you know, spiritually. I feel you've got some kind of spiritual thing going on, some kind of upliftment. I think you're quite good at uplifting other people, and I think that would be a real good direction for you to go in on your spiritual mission. But your spiritual mission really is maturing. That's what this card says, and that's what the sunflowers are all about in this card as well. So you might be in a position where you've got to kind of ask someone, or maybe more than one person, who are already sort of spiritual, you know, established in some way in their spiritual careers. You might have to ask them for a hand up, but don't be embarrassed to do that, Smiling Heart, because they will know, okay? They will just know that you're ready for this. And whatever it is that you're moving forward into, you're more than qualified for it. Sometimes you think, well, I've got no experience. How am I actually going to succeed at a thing that I've never done? There is only one way to get experience, Smiling Heart, and that is to go ahead and do it. Okay, start actually doing the thing. Cool. That's been my journey as a medium as well, actually. Because I was very lucky. I came into it very quickly, and the first reading I did worked for someone. This is about 12 years ago. Spot on. Great, you are ready. Hold that affirmation in your smiling heart, okay? And keep on smiling, because not only are you ready, it's actually going to be happening. Yeah. So here we go. Now, you mentioned Kim at Intuitive You there. I did actually get shouted out by Kim Melly, and that's one of the reasons that I'm able to go live tonight. I really can't thank her enough. I sent her an email to thank her as much as I can, but I really, I wouldn't be live tonight because I'd be on about 900 subscribers and probably looking at 6 or 7 months before I could get anywhere near going live on my mobile. I can go live on my computer, but it's freezing cold up there. You came via Kim. Yeah, a lot of people did actually. It's wonderful because people like Kim join people together, And yeah, Linda, I will pull a card for you now in a second. I'm just having a shuffle for you. Actually, I was going to come to you next, so I will. And I've got Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light, I'm sorry, deck here, which is the way of keeping the life as well. But okay, card here for Linda. And I'm not ready yet. They'll tell me to stop shuffling and take one's fallen on the floor. Excuse me. Right, let's just pick this one up. Now then, this is for Linda. Matters of love, maybe affairs of the heart here, because we've got Radha. It's Soul Flame. And I'm going to turn around and have a look. I'm delighted as well, Liz, and thank you for that. And thanks for all your support as well over the last couple of years. Much appreciated. But Linda, rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship, harmony, and healing. Okay, now then, that makes me think, Linda, that maybe you're not in the happiest place at the moment in terms of relationships, But this card, as much as anything, it's one of several cards that there are in several decks, which bring with it the idea of kind of counting the blessings you've got in your present situation. Although this is more actually on the side of looking at what you've got in your present situation and trying to turn negatives into positives if you possibly can. Now, when this card comes up, you will actually be able to do that because Soul Flame, it's not just soul healing, this is Soul Flame. There is a fair bit of purple in this card, so there is a lot of healing there. But we've also got this turquoise blue down here. And it's kind of halfway between throat chakra turquoise and the indigo of the third eye. So, Linda, those are the two chakras to be thinking about, okay? The third eye looks inside yourself and does a bit of soul searching, but it's the throat chakra that really matters because you've got to speak your truth, okay? The situation that you want to heal, Linda, is ready to heal, but you've kind of got to push the button. We all have electric lighting, or, well, I do most of the time. I prefer candles and kerosene, but I've got the electric ones on tonight. And the power is all there, but the room would be dark unless I pressed the switch and actually got the electricity flowing. It's actually, such a complicated thing to produce your own electricity, and I don't. But all you've got to do is flick the switch and it will actually come on. You won't even get a bill for the electricity yet. That'll kind of come later in the game. But Linda, kind of be willing to step up, okay? Because things are changing for the positive. And ride that wave, okay? There's going to be a wave that you can ride, Linda. And things are going to be healing. And you're going to be in a much happier situation. I'm going to say sort of around about Christmas time. And that isn't very long away now, is it? You'll see the seeds of this starting to grow very soon, I'm sure. But all the energy of Radha is here for you and all that kind of positive feeling. Soul Flame, it's burning. It's not going to burn some other time. It's burning now. So pick up on the energy and go with that flow, Linda. I really hope that's helped you. I'm going to move forward now because I can see there are more and more people coming into the chat at the moment. And I hate to leave anyone without a card for very long. because it's an immense privilege. You're flipping that switch. Great. Well, blessings to you too, and soul energy to you too. You know, there's a lot of it around you, and I'm sure my guides, as well as me, wish you all the very best with that. And when spirit guides start wishing you all the best, you know you're going somewhere, because they command all those almighty forces that can make things good. They really do. Okay, now then. This is one of those things, the chat keeps disappearing on here, so I have to keep kind of looking for people. Someone asked me for a card a second ago. Here we go. AQ. Okay, and I'm coming to Liz Crafts next, all right? I'm coming to Liz Crafts next. But AQ, this is just the way the energy kind of flows at the moment. Let me just check that out again. I'd love a card too. My name is Adrienne. Okay, right, let's have a shuffle. What have we got to tell Adrienne from the Moonology deck, which I was guided to pick up for you, Adrienne? That's a lovely name, actually. That's a lovely name. And Sheila too. Thank you, Melly. Okay, right. Well, I'm sure we'll get through everybody. This stream doesn't seem to be freezing and cutting out. Jennifer Durocher, hello. That is a lovely French-sounding name, actually. Reminds me of Maurice Durufle, who was a great French organist, wrote beautiful music. But anyway, what have we for Adrienne? It's this one. Adrienne, you're very close to achieving your goal. And this continues that theme that we seem to be having in just about every reading tonight. You know, someone's about to step up, something good is about to happen, and it's a continuation of a journey. Means of the rock, of course it would, yeah. Like Theodore Dubois means Theodore of the Wood. I'm with you. Right, Adrienne, anyway, you're very close to achieving your goal. Now, I have a feeling you might be feeling rather drained at the moment, Adrienne, and you might actually feel that as close as you are to achieving that goal, and you might be aware actually that you're close to achieving the goal, maybe it's like reaching for the moon. Maybe it's just going to be too much work. Well, it isn't, but I dare say that's how it feels. Adrienne, you know you want this. You know that, you know, there's something, you've accomplished a lot along the way to this goal already. And the last thing you actually want to do is let go of it now. It's not going to take too much effort, okay? It looks like reaching for the stars. It feels like reaching for the stars. But if you can imagine you were the person lying on the ground with the camera, and this was a photograph and not a painting. If you were lying on the ground taking that picture, would seem such a long way, but the trees in the picture actually lift you up. You know, they draw the eye to the moon. They look like they're very, very close to the moon indeed there. And so the thing to do, Adrienne, is get out into nature if you can. And I know that's not easy for people. I did a video about that yesterday, actually. But, you know, nature is there under all our feet, even if we live in a city situation. All the concrete that we stand on is actually made out of natural elements from the earth that human beings have messed with, but it is all essentially natural stuff under there. So ground yourself, you know, visualize yourself in a beautiful wood like that and feel, you know, call in spiritual energy and visualize it and believe it so that you actually feel that spiritual energy coming in, okay? Send your roots down into the earth and send your thoughts to the moon, Adrienne, and shoot for the moon, okay? Have a real moon shot of your own. That's an important thing to do, because I'll say it again, you are very close to achieving your goal, okay? It's actually, it's a bit like the I think it's the 9 of Wands in tarot. No, you've got to have that last push. You can't walk away because it's something close to your heart, and that last push will actually get you there. So that's for you, Adrienne. I really hope that has helped you. I can see some more people joining us. I could see Jennifer. Well, I'll tell you what, I will come to you, Jennifer. You might have to remind me, because the names don't stay on the screen, but we've got Kate here. I'm going to Liz Crafts next, and there's someone else as well. I'll get to just about everyone if I can. I'm being told to stay with this deck for Liz Crafts, okay? Hope that's okay with you. A Moonology card again. Okay. Jennifer, you've got a Gemini rising, Cancer Sun, Pisces moon. That is quite a mix, actually. But those are the big three. They sum you up in a big way, I'm sure. But Liz Crafts, here we go. I'm having a shuffle. We're doing Moonology again. And I want to point out the back of this card to you first, Liz. Okay, it's just all the phases of the moon. Over here it's absolutely dark, over here it's absolutely full, but the cycle never stops. And you'll be used to hearing me say that in my videos. That's one of my kind of pet things, because it's a true thing. You know, it's so easy to think that the cycle will stop, that the cycle actually has stopped. And you know what you need then is some momentum. And I've already read the front of this card. I'm going to read it again. The energy is gaining momentum for you, Liz. Okay, you're going places. And when we were talking about astrology and birth charts the other day, I just know that that door is opening for you. And that door is opening for a string of reasons. It's not just because you've got that ability with astrology. It's because you're actually in some way, you know, you're ready to help people with it. Not just, you know, I mean, as you give someone a birth chart, a natal chart, or a reading of any kind, you always bring some kind of magic into their life, because it's your affirmation and their affirmation that they believe that the universe has something to offer them. So this is where you're going at the moment, Liz, and it's that theme that keeps coming up in tonight's reading. The energy is gaining momentum, Liz, around you. Now, look at these beautiful purple mountains, healing most certainly, but you see how the colours kind of fade as they get back, as they go back further into the distance. Well, that's how it's going to be for you, Liz, okay? You're going to kind of do these first readings, and before long, they'll be right back here and you'll be doing more, and they'll be healing coming with it all the time. There'll be good things happening all the way, Liz. But kind of just stay on your path for now, okay? It probably feels like you're not moving as fast as you want to. And I get the feeling as I'm doing this that I know you're a confident kind of a person, but I think your confidence might not be what it could be in terms of working as an astrologer, in terms of doing spiritual readings, actually. And I've got to tell you, you would be able to do kind of tarot, anything, you know, oracle cards, like what I'm doing here. You've got that in you, Liz. You can most certainly develop it. But it's all gaining momentum. It's going to be taking off. I feel for you, you've got to kind of get Christmas out of the way. And I know you're a family lady. And I know you've got commitments, so that's no bad thing, Liz. You know, the spirit people, they step back and they don't expect us to do too much while we've got family commitments. I was a single dad, well, I still am, but my children have grown up now. But when I first came in and found out that I was a medium, I had 2 kids in school, so I absolutely had to you know, hold back a bit. I couldn't go off traveling around spiritualist churches. Whatever I did in terms of circle work or anything, I always had to be back here in the evenings. And Spirit were great. They just gently brought me along until my children left home. And, you know, I filled that void then by actually working with Spirit, and it's gone up and up there. And that seems to have hit home. So I am very, very glad about that. Celtic Tarot Sheila, I got to do a card for you next. I don't mean you're forcing me to, not at all. I'm delighted to do a card for you, Sheila. But it's my guides are telling me come to you next, okay? And I've picked up Tarot in Wonderland for you. And I can't always remember all the meanings, actually. There's an admission for you. So I guess, Sheila, read this one yourself. I think I said something like that to you just the other day. And hey, what we've got here, Ace of Cups. This is pretty good. And another one fell out, which I'll show you in a minute. Celtic Tarot, Sheila. Ace of Cups. You see the waterfall in the distance here, Sheila. You're going to be moving towards that waterfall. That is the alchemy of the Ace of Cups. And it means that the good things coming into your life soon are going to be the good things you actually desire. Now, it looks to me like it would be quite hard to swim across that lake. So there's a fair bit of work for you to do there, Sheila. But whatever you do with the tarot is really going to be powered up. It's like fund matching. You know, if you... sometimes if you make a donation to a charity, some big bank or rich institution will have a fund matching thing, so that everyone who gives sort of £10, say, to a charity, the bank will give £10 as well. And Spirit are matching your energy that way. In fact, they give you whatever you put in, Sheila. I've just been told they'll give you like 10 times the energy, and that's a random number, but they'll give you lots and lots of energy. That's what it means to actually propel yourself towards your goal at the moment. I don't feel this is actually a big change of course for you, Sheila. I don't think this is anything much different, but it's just powering it up a lot, and this is what seems to be happening all through tonight's readings. If we look at the clouds in the sky, Sheila, I'm sure you will know as a Celtic Tarot person that when we got clouds that are nice and flat like that aren't slanted, they look a bit like dolphins, they're nice and fluffy. That kind of shows that things are positive. Clouds that are on the slant in a card, they're less positive, and hard times might be involved with that. But for you, Sheila, it's plain sailing, right? It's not easy sailing, and you're going to have to put a lot more effort in yet again. And I've just been told that you've put a lot of effort in already. Just keep on making that effort, okay? Because you are getting there, and things are really going to be positive. You're going to have kind of a spiritual practice, Sheila, around the tarot, which is going to really sort of lift you up and get you further and further. You can get it done, right? I'm great. That's great. I'm glad you said that, because you can. This card really says you can. Ace of Cups, okay? In some decks, it's as if the person's half ignoring the Ace of Cups, but that's not the case here. There's a cup of tea in it as well, so I'm going to have a quick drink of tea. But at the same time, Sheila, it's the King of Pentacles here, and this is all about energy as well, and it's about keeping the energy flowing, keeping the flow going, because the King of Pentacles is an expert with resources. He loves to have a good time, but he loves to use up his resources because he knows that more resources will actually come into him. You can see he's the Mad Hatter in this deck, and he's got the price tag on his hat there. Let's just bring him in close. And that is because he's very wise, okay? He needs a hat, he makes hats, so he wears one of his own hats and he puts a price tag on, so it becomes advertising. He's very, very shrewd. So, Sheila, make the absolute most of any opportunity you get, really, okay? I don't know if you do YouTube, Sheila, but, you know, think about YouTubing. It's been said it's quite difficult to make it these days, and to be honest, the only reason I've kind of got where I've got is that I started years and years ago. I actually started this particular YouTube channel in 2009, and it was about January 2016 that I got serious and started making lots of videos. But I didn't push, Sheila. I didn't do it every day. And when I really decided to have a push, it built up, and then, you know, Kim from Intuitive View actually pushed me forward by getting me all these subscribers. You do have a channel. You're putting a lot of work into it, says Melly. Well, I will go and have a look. I'm not going to go and have a look now because that'd involve cutting my stream off, which is the last thing I want to do. But I'll go and have a look later, Sheila, and I'm really glad you're on here. So everyone watching, check out Celtic Tarot Sheila. Okay, she's definitely one of the dudes. Just keep pushing, Sheila. I went into a YouTube thing there. Maybe that's part of the message. Just keep on pushing. Okay, about 3 weeks ago, I was on 875 subscribers, and quite honestly, I was only putting on 1 or 2 subscribers a month. I was thinking it'd be years before I can go live from my mobile phone. And then, you know, that one thing happened with Kim at Intuitive View, and I was straight up to 1,020 subs. I'm on 1,015 now, so if any of you haven't actually subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and help me to kind of keep rocking on with this. It is sweet, Jennifer, it really is. But that's my message to you, Sheila. I will come and have a look at your channel. A collab, why ever not? I'm sure we could fix something up like that. Sounds absolutely brilliant. I'm now coming on. I've still got the tarot in my hand, and I'm being told now to use the tarot. Great. I will look you up on Facebook too in that case. Smell, not small. Well, great. Okay, now then. Jennifer Durocher. Well, thank you very much for the congratulations. I think I've got something congratulatory to say to you. Well, I've got 3 cards for you. It's just going mad. 3 came out. So, Jennifer Durocher, 3 cards for you at this point. First card, Ten of Swords. And as we actually look at this card, initially, it's quite a scary scene, is it not? It looks really kind of quite worrying. But what's happened here isn't final, and it isn't really fatal. This is kind of like the death of the old self, birth of the new self thing. It's a sword card, so you've got something to decide, I'm sure, Jennifer. And one of the important choices to make is that things can be better and things will be better, because over the back of the wall here, that's either a sunrise or a sunset. I'm not sure how to tell which it is, but the fact is there's a cycle going on, and whatever's come to an end for you in recent times, Jennifer, things are going to start up. It's not going to be the same thing. The old ways are lying shattered in pieces here, and the answer is to look for new ways of doing things and actually a whole new direction to go in, because the second card for you, Jennifer, is Knight of Pentacles. Okay, now hello Salma, nice to see you. I will pull you a card soon, I'm sure. But yeah, Jennifer Durocher, right, on the horse here. Okay, now this horse isn't going anywhere, but you can see the Knight of Pentacles is kind of fully equipped here. Okay, so this is really, after the Ten of Swords and things coming apart, gather up everything that's important to you, gather up everything that's going to help you along the way. You will be inspired to know what kind of strengths you got to build up within yourself. Okay, listen to your dreams, do some meditation, that will all help. But he's actually on the horse, he's ready to gallop away whenever the mood actually takes him and whenever he feels ready. He's holding up a pentacle, so things are good. It's not just money, it's abundance, and it's the 5-pointed star. It's all the elements, earth, air, fire and water, working together under the kind of under the guidance, under the rulership, if you will, of the divine. And rulership is the way I want to put it to you, Jennifer, actually, because there are forces in the spirit realms which will look after you and which won't let things fall apart, in the same way. Sometimes things fall apart to sort of show us that we can find a new way. That is really an important thing to do. You have subscribed, love you, Linda. I'm really delighted you've subscribed. Thanks to all of you who supported me and all of you who subscribed. I've been waiting to do a mobile phone live from down here for ages. Got the Christmas tree going, got the wood burner going over there. If I lean over, you can see it. And a nice big stain on the wall where the smoke is going up. But Jennifer, card number 3 for you. Now, this has to do with resources as well. It's number 7 in the Major Arcana. A very cute deck indeed, actually, as someone said there. And what she's doing, she's trying to play a game of polo, but all she's got, or is it croquet? I'm not sure which it is. It's polo or croquet. But all she's got, instead of a ball and a mallet or whatever they use, she's got this pink flamingo, and she's got her foot almost on a hedgehog. She's a very kind-hearted girl, is Alice, and she's not going to step on the hedgehog by any means. But yeah, everything is changing big time. Excellent. Well, the Chariot is always the story of a journey, isn't it? And for you, a croquet. Thank you, Melly. I appreciate that. I just couldn't see any croquet hoops there, but I'm sure you know what you're talking about, actually. But Jennifer, yeah, blue skies, okay. And if you haven't got the equipment you need, that is only because you've been through this Ten of Swords phase and everything's kind of got scattered. Maybe some things have broken down that can't be fixed, but that's just the universe taking away what no longer serves you. And you've still got a few things on board, by the look of it, Jennifer, that no longer serve you. But you will be making that journey, okay? Absolutely no doubt about it. And a clearish blue sky. There are some clouds in it, but it's a thing my grandmother used to say. We grew up in Sunderland, actually, where the author actually wrote Alice in Wonderland when he was staying in Sunderland. Is it good for flying? Looks like it's pretty good for flying because it's a nice clear sky. And what my grandmother used to say when anyone was upset, she'd say, if there's enough blue in the sky to make a sailor a pair of trousers, everything is going to be okay. And of course, you're so far away from the sky that just the tiniest bit is probably miles and miles wide. So the wisdom of that is there's always enough blue in the sky to make a sailor a pair of trousers. Okay, but you've got loads and loads of blue. That sky is massive, hardly any clouds, and they're not thick clouds, Jennifer. So excuse me, onwards and upwards. That really is the way for you to be going, Jennifer. It's a lovely saying, isn't it, Liz? It's northeast of England sailors saying. I never heard it from anybody else, but my granny used to say it all the time. Mm-hmm. Also, I drink black tea, by the way. It's if you're a sailor, black tea stops you from feeling seasick. First time my grandfather took me on a ship when I was a small boy, he made me drink black tea, and I was nearly sick, actually, just from the tea, never mind the seasick. But I felt better, so yeah, smart granny, most definitely, yeah. And big love to her. I'm sure she's watching from wherever she is. And smart granddad as well to make me drink black tea, because I still love it. Jennifer, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for coming on in and supporting the channel, and just being a, you know, there's no point being a medium if there's no one to read for, you know. So it's a two-way thing. It really is, and I really appreciate the people who are coming in tonight. If you've joined recently and you want a card, you might have to remind me as we go, okay? Because the live chat keeps disappearing on my screen until someone else posts something. But who's I gonna go to? I said I'd do a card for Salma, I believe. You drink it with turmeric every morning. Oh, good for you. That is a real good thing to do. You will have my confidence. I had no confidence at all, Liz, honestly. First time a medium spoke to me and told me that I would do this one day, I found it very hard to believe, Liz, because I had a terrible speech impediment. I sort of still have, but that made me go harder and harder at YouTube, actually. And if you watch some of my videos for a few years ago, I'm kind of struggling to get the words out. And what really gave me confidence is every time I do it, I meet people like you guys who are uplifting and who actually get something out of it. And that shows to me that it's actually worth doing, you know, and that will build your confidence, Liz. It really will. They come to us when we don't have much confidence and they build us up, you know, and they really will help. I've just got a message saying my battery's dying, so I'm just going to reach over, plug my phone in there, close that. And I'm back there. I hope the stream didn't glitch too badly there. I just had to plug my phone in. Salma. Okay. Well, I'm shuffling for Salma, and this is the card I've got for you, Salma. It's Horus. It's Cosmic Gateway. So we've got ancient Egyptian, and so do you, Liz. That's the whole point. That's why we got to know each other across the pond, you see. That's how it works. But yeah, Salma, Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. I'll bring the writing up to the camera there so you can actually see it and read it for yourself. Salma, yeah, miraculous changes are occurring. And I felt that about you, actually. I feel, Salma, that you've been in almost the same place for a long time, you know, and you might have had change in your life along the way, but these are big changes, okay? It says miraculous changes, Salma, so this is kind of going to be almost the last thing you expect, but it is going to be deeply in tune with what you actually want to happen, because we've got Horus here, okay, and this is ancient Egyptian wisdom. And the ancient Egyptian wisdom is incredibly powerful. I can't begin to tell you. Sometimes I do readings for Egyptian people, and you get thundering messages coming through, very accurate, because when you tune into the Egyptian stuff, it's always right. I'm calling it stuff. I don't know what else to call it. You know it deep in you. Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, so it's resonating with you. That is absolutely brilliant. Now, it also says Cosmic Gateway, and Horus, in fact, all the ancient Egyptians had the knack of time travel one way or another. You've only got to see the amount of their culture that is still left standing to this day. And sure, it's a hot country and it doesn't rain much, but I'm sure, you know, that there have been times when the desert sun has got so hot it could have torn things apart. You're Syrian and you're in Damascus, are you? Right, so you're not far from Egypt. Well, absolutely great. That kind of adds up as well, doesn't it? So look up at the night sky, Salma, for inspiration, okay? Because the changes that are coming are miraculous. Now, it might seem too good to be true when you actually start seeing the direction that things are going in, but it isn't. It's exactly right. The things we desire most of all, the things that seem beyond our wildest dreams that we're never going to be able to do, that's because we want them so badly, and it feels selfish to want them. We're in a world where we've got other people and we have to think about other considerations just to keep life going. But we all come into this world for a purpose. We all have a kind of a mission, you know. And you saw a UFO, well, absolutely great. That there, you know, there is a sign for you. Okay, there is a greater intelligence, and it will lift you up, because the things that we want more than anything else, they're the things we can actually get if we really shoot for the moon. Excuse me, like I said to someone earlier, reach up for the moon, okay, and reach out and grab it. It's actually yours, Simon. That's really strongly what I feel at the moment. There's a friend of mine, met a chap on the internet who lives in Egypt, somewhere in the Valley of the Kings, actually. And she asked me to do a reading for him. And I've never got a reading so right in my life, according to what she said. It was massive. Also, Melanie Radford isn't actually with us on the stream here tonight. I hope she'll be watching this video later, but she is starting to do readings. She has been for a few years, but she's taking it really serious now. And she did a reading for me last night with an Egyptian deck. And again, I've never known anything like it. It was so spot on the mark. And something she said last night that I didn't quite understand came true about 3 hours ago and made absolute sense to me. So the Egyptian energy is massive, Salma, and I'm sure just, you know, being close to Egypt is going to help, because wherever you are in, well, Damascus there, you're going to have kind of the cultural influences of a people who've been close to everything that was going on in ancient Egypt and are close to the energy that is still there today. So I'll give you that with the love of the spirit guides, and I'm sure with Horus himself, I'm sure he's not very far away from you. Salma, you might want to do some writing. It's just been said to me. We often associate Horus with the idea of writing things down. So, you know, do keep a dream journal maybe, Salma. I'm sure that would help you, actually, because I'm sure you're being communicated with in your dreams. So it's bound to help you to write those dreams down. It's amazing how much of our dreams we lose sight of within about sort of 10 minutes of waking up in the morning. And that, you know, that's really unfortunate, because a lot of our dreams are just jumbled up stuff that happened in the day being played back to us. But the spirit guides are actually working. You're writing a book. Well, and a comic book as well. Great. Well, I love the sound of that, actually. I really do. Yeah. Good. Because we can take ourselves far too seriously. Well, so accurate. Thank you, Salma. But I want to say this to all of you, okay? If you lean back on your guides and believe what they're telling you, you will be this accurate, you know? I'm only as good as my spirit guides, and I'm really blessed to have the spirit guides that I've got. You've sort of got to have the courage to say it, I suppose, and this plays into what I was saying to Liz Crafts earlier on. For example, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I did a reading for someone about, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks ago, and this is a white lady, youngish white lady, and I saw Papa Legba, who is associated with voodoo magic and that side of witchcraft, which is it's every bit as pure and light as Western witchcraft. It can be misused, like Western witchcraft often is, and that's why it's got this kind of scary name. But I wondered why a voodoo god would come through with a message to give to a white lady in Britain. But I gave it out anyway, and it made perfect sense to her. And it's just, you know, I've learned to trust it, however crazy it sounds, you know. Yeah, because downloads, that's what they are, Smiling Heart. Yeah, they are downloads. They really are, you know. Sometimes we get a whistling sound in our ear when we're downloading. Sometimes we think it's tinnitus, but that's the human mind trying to rationalize things, okay? The answer to being accurate is just to go ahead and say it, and don't worry about it, because when you tune in and ask for spiritual guidance, it's pretty much the first thing you hear, you know, the first thing that comes into your head. And that sounds really random, but the guidance comes in first. The next thing that goes on in your mind is your own mind trying to rationalize it and saying, oh, I can't say that to someone. No way. Go ahead and say it, friends, if you're learning to read, and if you're ever, asking for psychic advice on anything, you'll be given the words you need in difficult situations, because we've all got people, excuse me, I've dropped the cards. We've all got spirit people in the higher realms looking out for us all the time, sending us love and wanting to make things happen. Yeah, prosperity. Yeah, I wish you the best prosperity with your books too, actually, Salma. Well, I'm really glad if you're listening to it, see, it's not just my wisdom, it's the wisdom of the people I work with, and it uplifts my heart no end as well. Yeah, and it opens up your heart chakra. Yeah, great. Well, I'm really, really delighted that I'm able to do that for you, Salma. So I wish you every blessing, and may the road rise with you. I'm sure it will, actually. Now, I've got a card here, and I don't know who it's for yet. I'm going to quickly scroll up, but a card came out. Kasana Chance. Okay. I'm assuming it's you, because you popped up just as I was wondering who it was for. Kasana. And I'm sorry if anyone else is waiting. I have to go in the order that the spirit guides tell me to go in. I'm not going to cut off anytime soon. There'll be plenty more cards. This card is for you, Kasana. There's an interesting name. This is Bridget. I'll bring it up close to the camera so you can see what it says. Inner strength. And it's kind of blurry, so I'll read it. It says, move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. And this is for you, Kasana Chance, wherever you are in the world, okay? This is kind of Irish Celtic energy in a lot of ways. Bridget is that kind of person. But I know someone in the United States who works with Bridget, and Bridget has actually kind of manifested things for her. So she's not just kind of Celtic, but she's very, very Celtic, very pagan, very green man kind of energy, and a great protector here as well, which we see in the greenness and just in the fact that she is an ascended master. She's someone who lived the life in this world and actually went on to higher realms and is actually able to work with us. Now, what am I seeing here? She's holding a bowl of fire, Kasana. So maybe, in fact, I think what we're looking at here, and it takes a while for it to kind of sink in with me sometimes, which it is now. But what we're looking at here, Kasana, is you've either got a passion or there's something that you actually need to do. And this is about keeping the energy flowing. Can you imagine if she holds onto this bowl of fire for very long, it would burn her hands. And I mean, she's immortal, so it wouldn't, but she's showing up in human form in this card. So that fire would actually burn her hands. So use the fire in your heart, Kasana. That's a real important thing to do. I feel like you're hanging on to the energy to kind of let it build up for something important, but don't worry about it. Keep it moving, keep it going, because as you use that passion, more energy will come in to fill the void and you'll get the flow of abundance going. And I feel like a flow of abundance would be a real good thing for you to have. If it feels like it's cut off, Kasana, if it feels like it's stopped, then whatever you do, don't let that become a worry. Just keep on using the energy as it comes in. This is something pretty important to you, I'm sure of that. And we've got the long flowing red hair of Bridget. Well, it's been said, and sometimes it's said unfairly, actually, so I'm not going to say this too deeply, but people with red hair usually are very passionate. It's some kind of physical characteristic that shows out through red hair. So use all the passion you've got, Kasana. It's super important. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. Well, I'll just put the card down a second because it knackers my arm if I hold it up for too long. Move back to wholeness, it says. Maybe you're feeling that things are a bit fragmented. Life does that to us. It's a bit like what I said before, the human mind tries to rationalize everything that comes in from the spirit realms, and that makes things quite difficult. Hello, Texas girl. Hello to you and to everyone as well. Oh, and Kate, I almost forgot you. I didn't really forget because you're there in spirit all the time, Kate, but I almost forgot you were there. But yeah, Kasana, Move back to wholeness. If things are feeling fragmented, do something that brings things back together. Is there something you've stopped doing in recent times, Kasana? That is the thing to think about. If there's something you've stopped doing in recent times that was important to you and that was uplifting for you, even if there were good reasons why you stopped doing it, try and get some of that energy back. Try and get back in touch with the thing you were doing. And if you can't do that thing anymore, do something that uses the same energy the same way, okay? Because that will lift you up. That will actually, and it's like the thing I said about match funding in a card I pulled earlier. If you can actually do something to real pull yourself together and get yourself kind of dancing along to the rhythm of life, then better energy will come in, more of it will come in around you. It'll lift you up and it'll really improve your situation, whatever that is. So Kasana, I'm giving you that with the love of spirit. I'm going to just shuffle the deck a little bit more here. I'm just going to take a few seconds before I'm going to launch into the next reading, because something else we've got to do is allow the energy to build up. And as I was talking about trance mediumship earlier, that's really an important consideration. They've only got so much energy. And if you're interested in trance mediumship and you haven't seen it yet, type into YouTube after I've finished. I'll do it now. After I've finished, type in Gordon Higginson. That's Gordon Higginson, Higginson, trance. And he was in charge of the Spiritualists National Union and was a great teacher. He was a big part of the spiritualist revival in Britain and the States, actually, in the 1960s. And he was a fantastic trance medium. And you will actually be able to see him doing trance mediumship. And at the end of the session, his spirit guide says, you know, I've got to step back now. We've used too much of his energy. And then he comes back into the room, because there's, you know, the divine energy isn't limited at all, but the human energy is. And this is why it's sometimes difficult to really make fast progress in any kind of spiritual field. But this is also why it works out in the end. This is superhuman knowledge, and you've got to let it trickle into your heart nice and slowly, because it's more on its own than any of us can really understand, you know. So you've got to give it time, let the energies actually trickle in, and take breaks when you need to as well. Anyway, I just took a little break there. I just got my guides, just stepped back and let the energy build up again. Can you have a card about your love life? Okay, Salma, I will. I've got this in my hand. 9 of Wands. Wow. So there must be something concerning you about your love life at the moment, because this guy is almost ready for a, well, he is ready for a fight. He's got a pan on his head in case someone throws rocks at him. The thing about this is, though, he has actually got 8 wands in the ground behind him, and he's holding up that 9th wand. So the wands are all about progress, yeah? So whatever's happening at the moment, Salma, whatever might be making you unhappy around your love life, you're kind of nearly there, and the energy is there to actually get it done. This is the 9 of Wands. You haven't got far to go until you get to the King of Wands. You know what I mean? There's only 1 or 2 more steps and things will be looking really positive. That might sound a bit up in the air. That might sound as if it's impossible at the moment. But what else have we? You're missing someone. I'm sorry to hear that. But what we've got is a clear sky up here. And this to me is it's like a blank page, you know, so that you can move forward. And it could be the same person, you know. I'm not saying this means that the person is never going to kind of be around you again. Not at all. This says that, you know, you can write what you want on this page. So get your manifesting head on, okay, Salma? Ask the angels, okay, to help you with it, because I'm sure they will. And I'm going to pull you a kind of an angel card as well on that very matter, Salma. Okay, what have we got here? Faith. Okay, this is what came out when I asked. Archangel Faith, she is Archangel Michael's twin flame. Okay, so it's a very spiritual thing for you, Salma, I'm sure. Yeah, you got it. Good. She's holding up a blue heart here. That heart kind of needs warming up a bit. But Archangel Faith is the one to do it. It says, humanity and benevolence, stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. So trust that you've got it within yourself, Salma, to actually manifest, to actually draw towards you that person that you're missing, or at least that energy, you know, to have that upliftment in your life and to make that work positively for you again, because I'm sure it will. Trust the good in yourself and others. So trust the good in yourself and in that person. I'm going to show you the back of this card. It's on all the cards, but I want to show it to you with this one as well. It's the Vesica Pisces, okay? And if you look closely, we've got it expressed again in the middle with the two rings crossing. That shows giving birth to something. That shows positive things, new developments. Probably the last thing you would expect was able to happen is coming in for you, okay? And we were specifically asking about love in your life there, weren't we? So great. I'm really glad that's what you wanted to hear. I kind of don't believe in just blindly telling people whatever they want to hear, you know, but that's the card I picked up, and that's the message Spirit put in my head, and I didn't know exactly how you felt, Psalmist, so I'm sure you can trust that one, okay? But part of that there with faith is faith itself. You know, we are always kind of creating our own reality. Whatever happens to us next is kind of something we expected to happen. So, you know, expect the best. Just, you know, don't even think for a minute that it's not going to happen. And, you know, you will manifest it. If someone's treated you in the wrong way, see that person enshrined and surrounded by love and surrounded by light, and then better things are bound to come. That person can transform before your eyes. I promise you, I've seen it happen so many times. Right. Yeah, I know, Sam. I wasn't accusing you of anything like that. I'm just, you know, rambling about what comes into my mind. Because that's what I'm like. Now then, Kate is here, and Raven is here as well. But Kate, I want to do a card for you. They're saying tarot, tarot, tarot. Tarot card for Kate Mether, who is in Australia, I believe, where it's probably nice and warm. It's actually nice and warm here tonight. The fire is going out. I'm going to have to do something about that before too long, or I'll freeze over. Hello, Melanie. I was talking about you earlier. Hope you'll watch this stream back. Melanie did me this fantastic reading with Egyptian cards the other night. I've just been saying, Melanie, how strong the Egyptian energy really is. And anything to do with Egyptian magic is incredibly powerful. It's absolutely amazing. It's at least on a level with what we think of as Native American magic. It really is. Hello to you, Raven. Right, so a card for Kate, who I hope is still here. You never know. Kate, we've got number 16, the tower here. And something feels a bit kind of mad and crazy and almost funny about this. I feel like something's gone wrong, Kate, but it hasn't gone wrong in a really kind of long-lasting way. Maybe it appears and feels as if it's gone wrong in a very big way, because we've got fireworks shooting off all over the place. And this really looks a difficult situation, but can you see what's happened here? This is small child Alice. She doesn't actually understand the dangers of what she's done, and she's trying to do that trick where you whip the tablecloth off and all the stuff stays on the table. One of my daughters tried to do that when she was quite small and did loads of damage, but we weren't particularly angry with her. We told her not to do it again, but we kind of understood it because people do that on TV all the time, and she thought it was feasible. She thought it was okay. So, Kate, I feel like you've tried to do something, and it's just sent fireworks blasting off all over the place, possibly made a relationship quite difficult around you, I feel, with a family, but perhaps not the closest family. I'm not sure exactly what I'm saying there, but what I am sure of is that whatever's happened is forgivable, okay? And whatever has happened can actually be fixed, because this is number 16 in the major arcana, and things pick up after that. 13 is the death card, where you have to leave the past behind. This is more moving on in a positive way. This is more working in the light, and the light working for you as well. So, Kate, that one is very much for you. I will give you that with their love. And I'm going to keep going. I'm being told also to do a tarot card for Raven Manning. So if you're still there, Raven, I'm going to do you a card now. I don't believe I've been on for a whole hour without the stream dying off. Well, this is great. I'm going to look at Wednesday evenings from now on. I'll try and do this again same time next week. I'll try and do it again some other time before then, because I enjoy these live streams. I'm always asking people, please subscribe, because when I can work live like this, as a medium, I can do so much more. You know, when I make the daily videos, I love making those, and I trust that people are drawn to watch those readings because the cards I pull will mean something to them. But it's absolutely great to actually be able to talk to people on the spot, you know, and find out, you know, am I right? Am I wrong? Shall I pull you another card? Things like that. You know, it's much better to have that interaction. So, Raven, I've got one card for you. I'm being told to pull another one. Okay, first card. Raven, this looks like you've had a big upset in the fairly recent past. 3 p.m. in Alberta. Lovely clear signal, isn't it? Yeah, maybe it's just Wednesday night. Maybe there's not too many people on the internet. Because when I try and do it at the weekend, it crashes all over the place. But Raven, you've had an upset. This could almost be bereavement, you know. It's something as serious as that. It feels like something really important has gone out of your life. But if we look at what Alice is doing here, she's reaching up, and this table is just much taller than her. The 3 cups that have spilt up out of reach, in a way. Well, I'm looking at the other card, which I shall reveal in a minute, and things are looking not too bad. Excuse me, things are looking not too bad at all going forward. Excuse me, but what you need to do, Raven, is just kind of accept that things have changed in a way that they can't ever be the same again. Doesn't mean things can't be good again, doesn't mean things can't be happy again, but you're not going to find happiness in exactly the same place as it was before, when, you know, whatever you lost was lost. The message here is that there are 2 cups down on the ground which she could reach, but she's more interested in trying to sort out the cups that have spilt. She wants to reach them. You know, if she just used her thoughts a bit, you know, more, and tilted her head back, she could drink the water that spilled out of those cups. But she doesn't need to. She's got these 2 cups here, you know, and so there are positives, basically. She's just not seeing them at the moment, and that is natural, you know. In this book, which I'm not going to now open and read, but for this card, it mentions a village somewhere in the world where if a person in the village dies and goes on to the spirit world, then everyone in that village will change one little thing in their house. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but they'll just move something. Like I might move my Christmas tree into another room or something, just as an acknowledgement that nothing will ever be the same again. But all they do is move something. They don't throw anything out, you know, and that's the important thing, is to kind of hang on to everything you've got good and just be willing to see things in another way. Hit the nail on the head. I'm very glad to hear that, and I'm sure my guides are on the case and on the ball. Got my nice chunky lapis bracelet on that someone kindly gave me for my birthday the other day. So other card for you, Raven, because 2 came out. It's the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so we have got great balance here. We've got a tea party going on. Very difficult to know which way to turn, though. So as I'm telling you to move forward if you can from that 5 of Cups situation, maybe not immediately, maybe don't rush to do it, because things aren't exactly set up for you to go ploughing ahead at this time. But if you wait a little while, things will be good, because there's a lot of goodness here. In the story, Alice doesn't know which way to go, and someone tells her, well, you can either go and see the Mad March Hare or the Mad Hatter. Doesn't matter which one, they're both mad. And if I bring the card up a bit close, you see she's kind of perplexed. She doesn't know what's going on. And the clouds in the sky are slanted all over the place. But we have got the scales here, the scales of justice and the scales of balance. Okay, Raven, so things are going to be, you know, there's a balance going on. Just give it a little bit of time. Keep looking up, keep looking forward, okay, because things are bound to improve. It's difficult at the moment health-wise, Kate. I am sorry to hear that, but, and it's disappeared. It's always disappearing. However, not as bad as it could be. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. And that is the attitude, Kate, actually. That really is the attitude. You are a glass half full lady, not a glass half empty lady. And that really is the thing that you need to be. That's where you need to keep your focus. Okay, keep on looking up, because the answers are up there, not down there in the miserable bit. The answers are up there. And even though we're down here in the miserable bit, that is actually quite positive, because things can only go up, things can only get better. And when we take that attitude, we draw down the lightning of spiritual support, of help from the angels, from the spirit realms. We actually draw them down within us. The worse the situation is, the more effective that is. You know, it's like what I was saying about switching the electricity on earlier in the video. You've got to actually kind of flick the switch, and you've got to get that electricity flowing. And when we're down, it's a terrible thing to be down, and I'm so sorry if people are down, I really am. But that is actually what's really going to attract the angels in to want to help you. Okay, the strangest thing can help with this. Yeah, love the angels and love your guides, Raven. Well, absolutely great. And I'm so glad that you're really aware that they're there for you, because they surely are. I'm sure they've come around me this evening. Now, I've got to be honest, folks, right? What happens sometimes when you're doing mediumship, particularly, the energy kind of drops, and then suddenly there's not so much intuition going on up here. And I'm coming towards that. I'm not stopping yet. I'm going to keep going for a bit longer yet. Do a couple more readings for sure. But if there's anyone out there who I've missed, and I'm sure I've missed some people, I can't actually, I haven't got a list of who's in chat. I'll have to try and work something out. But if you've really been waiting and you want a card, let me know now and I'll pull a card for you, okay? Good one, Raven. Good one. Just, you know, keep looking up for the answers, okay? And give it a little bit of time. I don't think much time. I think by the time we get in towards next spring, things will be improving and things will be taking off for you, Raven. Okay. I'm scrolling up now to see if there's anyone I haven't pulled a card for yet, because I hate to leave anybody without. I did say, oh, Melanie, Melanie, of course, I haven't done a card for Melanie yet, and I was sure I was going to do a card for Melanie. You should see the reading Melanie gave me the other day. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the chat there. Great. Okay. Oh, sorry, Liz. I timed Liz out for 300 seconds. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Oh, you just touch your screen these days and something crazy happens. Right, so Melanie, has something crazy happened around you that you had no intention of doing, and it just something happened that you didn't want to happen? I feel we're in with that kind of energy here somewhere along the line. I'm going to do you 3 cards, Melanie, actually, because you did me 4 cards the other day, and that was absolutely sensational reading. I will do that, Jennifer. Okay, but I'm going to do this one for Melanie right now. First card I got for you, Melanie, it's the 4 of Pentacles. So we're looking at misuse of abundance. And because you did me that 4-card spread last night, and one of them was a blank card, which was full of meaning in its own way, I'm going to say you've kind of got 3 out of the 4 Pentacles. You see, there's 3 of them on the teapot. And this is you inside the teapot, and you're looking out of the teapot, and you're going to go forward on that spiritual journey. You're going to be getting more and more things done. I don't know if you were with us earlier when I pulled the card Bridget, but that came up and it reminded me of you, because Bridget was very significant. And I believe this moment in time is actually significant for your spiritual career and doing readings. The one you did me that I read yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Can you see what's happened though? There's a biscuit on the plate here, and the biscuit's got a bite taken out of it. And the thing is, who took that bite? Was it the mouse? Did the mouse actually take the bite and then scurry off back into the teapot? Or was it someone else? The point is that biscuit is there for you to either keep on eating or get out and take a bite of that biscuit yourself, Melanie. Okay, because it's forward moving energy for you all the way. 4 of Pentacles, it's abundance, and it shows the 4 elements coming together under the guidance of the divine. Okay, I hope Liz Crafts makes it back. I tapped something and it says I timed her out for 300 seconds. What's that? That's 5 minutes, so she won't be back yet. I hope she comes back soon. Melanie, sorry, I digress. Second card for you, Melanie. It is the Ace of Pentacles here. Okay, and so lots of alchemy here. Again, it's a Pentacles card, and Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But we've got two earthy cards here, so really it's saying ground yourself as much as you can. Now, I know you're doing fantastic readings at the moment, and I'm sure I'm not the only person you've read for, but hold that affirmation that you're going to keep on doing the readings because they're working really, really well. Get yourself grounded though. Visualize those roots going down into the earth, pretty much as I talked about in yesterday's reading. And the efforts that you make will result in kind of more energy coming in. It can only kind of go up and get better. It can get a bit crazy. That's also a very true thing. And now this is interesting because I was talking to Jess Waddingham, and hi to you, Jess, who's just joined us, about this very card last night, but I pulled it now for Melanie Radford out there, and it's the Four of Swords. Now, can you see what this character's doing? He's having a sleep, and there are 3 swords hanging in the tree. So where's the 4th one? It's down on the ground here. So it's not going to be long before he jumps into action. Okay, Melanie, and the Knight in this card, this is kind of your spiritual energy, okay? So take a rest if you need to, okay? But what I'm really drawn to here is he's lying on the ground. We see different things in the cards for different people at different times. He's lying on the ground, so he's very close to the earth energy, and he's kind of earthing himself to this tree as well. So he's getting protection while he takes a rest. So Melanie, anything that you feel you might have to put on hold or anything like that, the angels will see it through to completion. But in the Rider-Waite deck, this image for the Four of Swords, it looks like a mausoleum, and there's a definite feeling of sort of the death of the old self alongside the birth of the new here, Melanie. So great things are happening for you. You will be going forward. Be willing to take your time, okay? But don't hide in the teapot for too long, going back to the first card. That is so important, okay? Don't hide your light under a bushel, because that was a great reading you did me, and I know you were leaning back on your guides and you were actually listening to your spirit guides, and that is so important, okay? There was evidence for you in that reading. There was evidence for me in that reading. And actually, one of the things that you mentioned, I just found out this evening, is absolutely true. There's one thing I said to you that I wasn't sure could be 1 or 2 things. But my daughter isn't pregnant, but it was something about my daughter, and you're absolutely right. I shall say no more. Monad, good evening to you. I'm really glad you could join us. Brilliant to see you. So I'm going to do a card now for Jess Waddingham. I've just got to, okay? Because Jessica is really coming into this work in a big way at the moment, and I don't think it's been an easy time for you, has it, Jess? You know, things suddenly change. Sometimes we spend a long time on the spiritual path, hoping that one day we'll be able to do readings, or, you know, things will start happening for us. And for some people, that's a long road. For other people, they're just suddenly, things start happening and suddenly they're into it. Maybe you've been into crystals and stuff for years, but now suddenly mediumship comes in and starts taking off. That's how it happened to me, and I'm afraid some people get a bit jealous of that, Jess, you know. But you got to remember, spirit can work with who they want when they want, and it's not for any mortal person to say whether you're really right or wrong, okay? So I'm certainly not going to say whether you're right or wrong exactly, but everything about the higher realms is telling me, Jessica, that you're meant to do this work, and it's going to be taking off fast for you. Okay, well, I've had this card already tonight, Jess, but it's come out again, and it's come out for you. Ace of Cups. Okay, Jess, now if you look at this card, the waterfall is a long way in the distance, okay? A real intense journey. Yeah, and I'm sure you have, actually. I can sort of tell, Jess, when you've been doing this just not much longer, just a little bit further along the path, you'll start becoming aware of mediums who are coming into it, and you'll recognize these things in them as I'm recognizing them in you. When I'd only been doing readings as a medium for about 2 weeks, someone came on the website and said, I'd like a reading, please, but Can it be from an experienced medium? And I fell about laughing because new mediums are just as good as experienced ones. They really are. The guides give us these readings and introduce us to each other when we actually need it to happen. So just, keep on trusting, okay? You're being handed this cup now and you get the chance for a cup of tea. And I always have a quick drink of my cup of tea when this comes up. As I do love tea. So take time to stabilize yourself and give yourself time, okay? Because this waterfall is all that spiritual energy plummeting down the mountain for you, okay? You can reach it, no problem, but it's a bit of a long swim across the lake here, okay? But that is all relative, Jess, because I'm saying it's a long way. Well, we've got the whole scene in the card here, and that is probably about, if I put a ruler from here to here, that's probably about 3 inches diagonally across the card. Probably less than that. So, the long journey is all in the way you see it. Just give it as much time as it needs, Jess. And know that what you want, what you really desire is in this cup here. And by offering it out to the universe, you're going to really bring yourself into much closer contact with everything that needs to happen. We got lovely flat clouds here as well in a blue sky. So things are pretty much on the level for you, Jess. They really are. And you're seeing the situation accurately. You're seeing it as it is. You really are. Okay. Well, I noticed we're joined by Monad888, and I'm really, really glad you joined us. Monad is a spiritual practitioner herself. She's got a channel. I don't see many videos on her channel, but I hope you'll go over and take a look at it, because she has a lovely energy. Yes, Bridget has been significant. And Metatron, of course, yes. Yeah, well, it might have come as a surprise to you, Melanie, that you were able to read for me, but it meant a lot to me. That was a brilliant reading, and just do believe in yourself. Keep on going that way. And Jess, so spot on. Thank you. But as I was saying earlier, I can only really be spot on because I've got spirit guides who are spot on, and all I've really done is learn to listen to them. Sometimes I go out to take a church service, not for a while because of the pandemic and all the spiritualist churches are closed at the moment. But when I go out to do one of those, they always say, well, we'd like to thank Andy for coming along tonight. And I always say, well, you're welcome. But all I've really done is come along. I drive there. I stand up, and that's it. Everything else, all the good stuff that comes in from the spirit guides. They're the ones to thank. They're the ones to be aware of, and they are working for you, Jess. They're working for all of us all the time. And I know Monad knows that very well indeed. Anyway, I'm going to do a card for Monad. I must say my energy is kind of dropping a little bit. Spirit would work me 24/7, but I know I just start getting a little bit vague about things. And that's not how I want it to be. But I'm going to do you a card, Monad, okay? Because I know the spirit people are there and they've got something to say to you. I'm being told that the card for you is going to come from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light deck, Monad, okay? There's going to be 2 cards. I've just pulled the first one. They said take the first one off the top. You visited a spiritualist church, Raven. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, they're amazing places, actually. And what I'm doing here, because I work online, a lot of people say, wow, it's amazing. In the churches, this is the standard, this is what happens all the time. The only real difference with online work is that you're not actually in the room feeling people's energy. That's a big difference. But the other thing is when you're actually in the room with people, they're saying yes or no to whatever you give out all the time. There's always a time delay on YouTube videos. So it's not a very long one, but you just have to absolutely trust that the information you're being given is exactly right. And you just keep giving it out, even though the person might not have said yes to it. And it actually does work. It really does, I'm sure of it. 2 cards for Monad. You're going to love this one, Monad. Archangel Michael, Trusting Heaven. This was actually the second one I pulled out, but I was told to hang on and read this as the first card. Archangel Michael, Trusting Heaven. You are safe, Monad. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. Now, Monad, I know your faith is extremely strong faith. She's got a very strong faith as Monad. And, you know, from what the video that I've seen about you, you really are you know, you have a strong spiritual practice going on. And I can't believe there's any lack of faith going on. I don't think that's what this is about at all. But it says you've got some concerns, okay? And it's reminding you that the angels stand close. And that makes me almost chuckle, because you've reminded me that the angels stand close many times, including what you said to me about Saint Bernadette a couple of weeks ago when I was complaining about her not mending my car. So, you know, trusting heaven. Archangel Michael, you've seen the card yourself. He's there for you. He came out for you. And the other card, which is the first one I got, but I was told to give this one out second. Crazy world. Lord Shiva, Transcendence. And I'm going to read it myself. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. Okay, now I feel this Monad is asking you to come out of your comfort zone, I suppose. And I know you're someone who's very capable of doing that, actually, but now is a real good time for you to come out of your comfort zone. Just take some more steps forward. Allow things to change a bit as well, okay? If you find yourself having to leave behind some important part of your work, just go for it, okay? Because all the energy from that is going to be used in a slightly different way. It's like a new way of working for you. So really trust that and transcend any concerns you might have about that, because I know you work with people. I know you have regular people who come to you. They won't lose out at all. This is not about stopping anything. This is about starting something new. And if you feel that you won't have the energy, just trust in them up there, them upstairs, because they will absolutely work for you. They will absolutely help you, and they'll keep showering you with love, Monad. So I'm going to give you that with their love, and with my love spiritually and my compliments and everything. And I wish you all the best. She's a great practitioner, is Monad. Now, I did say that before I ended up tonight, I would actually do a Moonology card. I'd pull a Moonology card for everyone. I can't remember who asked me to do that now. I've got a brain like a colander or something. Everything just flows out. I've got a brain like half a tennis ball. That's a good way of putting it. It's just like nothing in there and nothing keeping it in either. That's one of the reasons I can do mediumship, actually. I had a whopping stroke, and it was about 30 years ago. And everything that having a stroke took out of me, it left a vacuum, and spiritual energy seemed to come in there. It was Jennifer. It was Jennifer. A Texas girl, did I do you a card tonight? I'll do you a card before I go as well, okay? But I'm shuffling now. I'm doing the Moonology card for everyone. Okay, so this is for everyone who's watching now, or everyone who's watching, the repeat, everyone who's been involved with this live session tonight, which I'm really loving, by the way. This is full moon in Sagittarius. It'll be a while before we have a full moon in Sagittarius again, actually, in the sky. But these cards are all about the energy of the moon cycle. And so for everyone watching tonight, look at the bigger picture. That's the message there. You can see the Sagittarius bow there. And this adds up, actually. There's been a theme through all the readings tonight of people being uplifted, people needing to go a bit further on their journey, encouragement, so that you all know there's momentum behind you. So look at this bow and arrow here. It's up in this cosmic place, right in front of the moon there. All that lunar energy. Next full moon we get. And just, now, don't wait for the full moon. This is here and now. That's why this card's come up now. That energy will come twanging out of the heavens towards you if you just believe that it can and you open yourself up to it. But don't forget to ground yourself. Don't forget to protect yourself, because I'll say it again, these are superhuman energies on superhuman frequencies, and it's much more information than the human mind can take in one go. So give it plenty of time, and ground yourself. Really be protected, okay? And call on the protection of Archangel Michael and all the angels, because they're there wanting to work for you, wanting to help you. I'm going to do a card for Texas girl, because I forgot you were there. I'm so sorry. I could feel your energy was close, but I've forgotten you were there. quick tarot card for Texas Girl in, I guess that's Virginia. Yeah, Texas Girl in Virginia. My geography of America isn't too good, but I guess you're on the east side somewhere, maybe on Mountain Time in VA. Well, it's my spirit guides who are really too kind. I'm loving doing this actually, because this has been 88 minutes of live stream. I can hardly believe it. Usually I do like 3 minutes and it cuts off and goes crazy. Ah, right. Oh dear, Texas Girl, right. Oh, you've had a hard time, haven't you, my friend? Three of Swords. This card tells me that things haven't been good for you, you know. Well, you know, I'm so sorry to see this. I really am. But if you focus in, there's a lot of hope in this card as well. It's a grim, rainy scene, and we can see the love hearts here, the two levels of the love heart stabbed in by the swords, you know. This card very often signifies bereavement, that maybe someone's gone over to the spirit world, but it, you know, it acknowledges great sadness in your life. And there's a very grim sky there, but there is light showing through at the top here. It's a new moon in Sagittarius. Is it? I didn't actually know that. I must admit, I'm glad to know that. But anyway, yes, this card, if I bring it up very close to the camera, you can probably see there's sort of sketchy rain falling there. And what's going to happen is the rain is going to wash away the cake. It's going to wash away all the brokenness. It's going to wash away the situation that has made you unhappy. And the three swords here, the swords are always about decisions, but they're also about resolve. And your resolve, Texas Girl, is going to stand strong and firm and still be there when the cake is washed away. So if you've lost someone, Texas Girl, I'm so sorry to hear that, but you've got to just let them be in that place in your heart, you know, where you can always kind of visit them in your mind and in your dreams, and allow that, you know, allow things to pass. Things have passed, you know, so allow them in your consciousness to pass into that place in your heart where things can really kind of, you know, live forever, because that's what eternal life is about. And know that you'll be standing strong, and, you know, good things will come again, okay? Because you'll still have all your resolve. And underneath all the clouds here, there's light shining through. So light is coming through again for you, Texas Girl, most certainly. Let me just see that. Yeah, Sun in Sag. Yeah, I'm Sun in Sag myself, actually. Yeah. So I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. So yeah, the 14th, right, on that new moon, there's a solar eclipse as well. And then on the 21st, opposite the heart of the Scorpion. And there's also a very rigid, very intransigent alignment at the same time in the sky between two fixed stars, and they are Antares and Aldebaran, those two. So there's something quite intransigent about this solar eclipse that's coming up. I'm a great believer that these things mean something. They really do. But December the 21st, it's really not going to be the end of the world, okay? Remember in 2012 when everything was going to be transformed? Well, a lot of transformation happened in my life at that time, and I'm not trying to rubbish that idea at all. I'm sure that December the 21st, 2020 is going to be a very powerful time, and we will see big changes. But the world isn't coming to an end, you know what I mean? And although our lives are going to change, we're still going to be who we are, okay? We're born into life at the time we're at, so that when these big events happen, we'll be wherever we are on life's path, which is going to be in just the right place to get the most benefit from it, to get the most love out of it and the most light out of it. For example, in 2012, I worked in a crystal shop. It was a wonderful, very enchanted place. And sort of magical things were always happening there all the time. And I learned loads about crystals. And it was a big part of my journey to being a spiritualist medium when I started working in that shop a few years before. But in 2012, that really did transform. And it wasn't the way I wanted it to at all. The little village where the shop was, which is called Newcastle Emlyn, it's in Carmarthenshire in West Wales here. Suddenly we just weren't getting customers, and the town was getting quieter and quieter. And I'd open the shop early. I'd put, you know, cunning displays in the window to draw people in. And people didn't come in because there was no one walking past to look at the adverts I'd put in the window. No one walking past to actually want to come into the shop. And what had been a very magical shop, excuse me, ended up having to close. We just couldn't afford to pay the rent, you know. And that felt like a tragedy at the time, and this was our 2012. Everyone who is involved in that shop has gone on to greater things one way or another. Most of our lives changed because it was our work, it was what we depended on, but life changed. But friends, life is change, okay? If your life never changed, it would be such a miserable thing, you know. It would be an easy thing to live, and it wouldn't be easy to get anything done at all if life wasn't change. But life is change. And that's the great thing about it. Okay, folks, well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to wrap it up there. I would love to keep on going for another couple of hours. Yeah, Jupiter conjunct Saturn on the 21st. Very, very bright star. It's going to look like one star in the night sky. And it's a lot like the Star of Bethlehem. And, of course, that brought Jesus along. Often associated with the three kings, of course, but they've been called three wise men. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that the wise thing about them was that they were astrologers and they knew that big changes were coming in with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunct that happened back then. She got a crystal certificate. Well, great. Well done to her. Well done to her. Absolutely brilliant. I'm really glad to hear that. Well, that is positive change happening, see, as we get on through the year. But yeah, Liz Crafts, Melanie, Jennifer, so glad you joined us. Met some new people tonight. That's great. Salma, Raven, Melly. I think you had the first reading and I was very glad to do that for you as well. Texas Girl, really glad you could join us. I'm scrolling through. Monad, big love to you across the water there. Big things happening for you as well. Smiling Heart. Your smiling heart makes my heart smile. I'm really glad you're around. Raven. Jessica, great to see you here as well, actually. And keep on going, Jessica. Things are going to keep on improving. Hui138. Now I guess. Now that sounds very Welsh to me. Hui138. Have I got that right? Hope I have. Don't know if you're even still there, but I'm gonna do a card. I'm knackered, but my spirit guides aren't. HWY138, which is almost a Welsh word, actually. This is for you. Card number 8 in the Major Arcana, so it's close to the heart of what's going on in your life. Use all your strength and speak your truth. Short and sweet, that's all I'm going to say because the energy's dropped with me. But this is the card for you, okay? I hope now I've done a card for everyone who is here. If you've enjoyed this one, please hit the like button. Please, please, please subscribe. It helps me so much when people subscribe to the channel. It really does. Highway 138. Oh, I see. Stage WY is kind of oh, I see. In California. Well, great. Okay. Well, I'm really glad you joined us tonight. I couldn't help thinking you might be Welsh because HWY appears in a lot of Welsh words, you know. So there we go. We've got a cosmic connection between California and Wales. Well, the road might be long for you, okay, but, you know, you're strong enough. That's what it's about. Highway 138, okay. Anyway, that's the highway. I've now got to go on the byway and say goodbye because I'm just kind of... It's really, you know, you think if someone can do readings, why can't they just keep on doing readings? I'm not, you know, I could walk 10 miles. I'm not so tired I can't keep going. But there's a certain amount of spiritual energy we can channel, and then it just kind of, I think it partly dries up because the spirit people know that that part of my brain is now kind of needs to rejuvenate or something before I do it again. I don't really know, but I've loved doing this stream. I'm so pleased that so many friends came on here tonight. Hope I've made some new friends. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Salma, you're very welcome. All of you, very, very welcome to the energy that's flowed here tonight. And please know, all of you, friends, that if I'll give you the time and I'll give you the energy, that's because your angels are there for you and they're wanting to give you the energy, and they're wanting to give you the time. Ask the angels. There's an angel up there for every one of us who wants to help. All you've got to do is ask them. They can't help you if you don't ask them, because it's free will. Okay? Jess, I think it's time watch. I'm very glad you did too. Okay, and yeah, I'll say that to the cats as well, Monad. Thank you. Autumn Gypsy. Oh, I didn't pull you a card, did I? Join us again, please, Autumn Gypsy, next time. There'll be another one of these soon. I don't know when exactly, but I seem to have found a time I can go live, so I'll certainly be here this time next week. I'll try again, at least over the weekend, if not before. Meanwhile, love, light, angel blessings, peace, and, big, big love from me to one and all. Take good care of yourself. See you again very, very soon. Love, light, and peace. And now, how do I actually end the stream? I don't know how to end the stream. Will it work? Are you sure that you want to stop streaming? I don't really want to, but I have to. Okay, take care, friends. Night, night.